My name is Nyberg, Margareta Nyberg, and I come from Sweden, Stockholm. And
what have you come here to do today?
I think it was very important to be in the group for the demonstration, because I know that our body is going to be worse, and we are getting older, and we need some more helping tools, and they cost a lot of money and so on. And I have been working with a group in Sweden against Brasilia, and have been there and have seen how bad money they have. They don't have some good money, and I think that's why I'm helping to protest for them as well, so they can get much better life.
Yes, because you were telling me yesterday what a shocking situation it is in Brazil.
Yeah,
children
and they're still born in Brazil. In Brazil, they still born children. The 2 years ago was born newborn a boy, and a couple of months ago, I can't remember exactly, and they have been born twins with the thalidomide.
Is this the first twin? I was wondering about if there'd ever been any twin thalidomides. Is this the first known twin?
I don't know. I can't answer that. For me, it was a new thing, and yeah, this is really shocking, because Brazil is so poor and so big, and they can't read their alphabet. So the most people who's getting this tablet, they are poor, the poorest in Brazil. And they have a picture of a woman and a big red cross over, but they can't understand that. They think, that's a good devotion for tablets. And because it's so far to the hospital, it takes hours for them to get to the hospital. Then they give lots of tablets, and they tell the neighbor, here, these good tablets, this is good, and they eat. And they don't know this is dangerous. You don't allow to be pregnant when you eat these tablets. So this is very difficult for them to prove they have eaten the tablet as well, because they have eaten from their neighbors. And for the Libra is a shameful symptom you can get, because it's the poorest symptom. That's why they don't want to tell that have been eaten thalidomide as well. These are two problems, and for me it was really shock. Come from Sweden, and we have pretty good life, and we went down to Brazil, and to see these kids, they can't afford to have a prosthesis, a wheelchair. They can't afford to have wheelchairs, and yeah, that was shocking for me, I thought.
Can you tell me a little bit about how the whole process went in Sweden? When was thalidomide taken off the market? When were people compensated? The whole
in the 70s, our parents fight against the Astra who made these tablets, and I can't say exactly which year it is. If you talk with the Björn, then he can tell exactly year, but I think it was 75 or earlier we get payment from the Astra, and there was really big fights, and took a couple of years. Our parents really fight, and the Astra and Carlsgården tried to hide it, dark it down the problem, and the tablets stopped to sell on the market 61. But in the late 61, I think it was December or February. But I'm born 62, so my mother was pregnant when they took these tablets out for the market, and I was already damaged when she read the newspaper. These tablets is dangerous. They are taking off the market. So because I'm born in April, so that's why. So they didn't know. They talked very low about how dangerous it was. So they took a while before they took off the market.
So if your mother found out while she was already pregnant,
yes,
she must have lived through a nightmare in her pregnancy.
Yes.
Worrying the whole time.
Yes, she was. Because she had been eating 10 tablets.
And did she tell any doctor that she was worried because she'd taken the tablets?
Yeah, the doctor called her and told her she had to stop to eat the tablets. And yeah, she was really worried because it was so early in the pregnancy. She had been eating the tablets, so they didn't know how much damage I was. So she told me that she was really worried. I should be born in May, but she started to clean all the apartment and running because she won't get off, because she would like to know if I was handicapped. And when I was born, they took me away, and they told her that don't bother to see her because we don't know if she's going to survive. So first time she saw me, I was 2 or 3 months old. In that time, it was very shameful to have disabled kids, so they have put the children to a special home for disabled. They hit disabled people in that time. And I've been living at a hospital from 0 to 3 years old.
3 years?
Yeah, and they did so many operations and experiment.
So you were born, what were your problems? No legs?
I have 2 short legs. I got problem with my hands. I have made an operation here. My hand was like this.
Familia.
Yeah, and my thumbs is little finger, and I'm born without 1 kidney. I have only 1 kidney, and my hip and joint is not like this. They're outside, and I have my feet, but they have took away my toe. I have no feet. We say toes.
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 Who took them away?
Because I should look more normal when I have my articulate on. So, and I do lots of experiment as well with me. They
when
tried,
you were a baby?
Yeah, they tried to do silly operation, I think, because they try so I can go on my own feet. But I'm not a doctor, but if you read, and then you can see your skeleton, then it's not possible to go. So, but they really try to do it. So one month they took me in sleep operation every day in 2 weeks.
Every day they operated you?
Not they put me in sleep, and they tried to change plaster, and then they did some strange things. So that's why I say I'm a little bit crazy.
From what age did they try to operate you?
And then I was 1 year old up to I was 18 years. They have done some operation.
And you said until you were 3 you lived in a hospital, and then you went to live with your parents again.
No, then I got to foster parents. But I always, under that time, I met my mother. So she wasn't gone really. We have contact. But she was divorced and she was alone. And my older sister, she had to work so much, so she couldn't manage to keep me home. So that's why I'm living at the foster parents up to I was 6 years old. Then I moved back home to my mother.
And your father?
My father, haven't seen him. He won't like to meet me.
When he knew of
When he knew that I was disabled, yes.
That's
why they divorced.
That's why they divorced. Jeez.
Yeah.
And
But I don't miss him at all.
I'm sorry to be so personal.
No.
And in Sweden, was this common to take the child away from the mothers?
Yes. And but so many of our parents, there was really strong fight that they took the child back, and the mother nearly kidnapped her child back.
From the hospital.
Our parents really fighted us to go to the normal school, so we were the nearly first person in Sweden who went to normal school.
Yourself?
And
So you said you went back to live with your mother. You went to foster parents, and then you went to normal schools. And then how was the aid, the economical aid in Sweden for thalidomiders? How did that settlement them, and what's the money they won?
yeah, there was I tell me from my personal opinion, I think it was good in that time, but now I think it's not enough, because I think when they did the process with Astra, I think that they didn't know how long we're going to live. Now we're nearly 50, and our bodies changes, and we be more staffed. We have so much muscle aids and so on. So for me, I have been walking on artificial legs since I was 2 years. I have to stop when I was 26 because I have really bad back pain, and before I could crawl around on the floor, no problem at all. Today I can't because my hand is hurting, and so I am more disabled now than I was a couple of years ago. So I'm more dependent on more helping tools and so on. Cars have to change, and so I think nowadays I think it's not so good. It's too low because you have to pay more and more
you
by
have
yourself.
full-time personal care.
Yeah,
And who helps you pay for that?
our government pay for that.
For
Personal helper.
any thalidomider? Every thalidomider, or only those that may have problems with?
Not all the thalidomider. It depends which, what kind of handicap you have. The rule is to have personal helper. Then you have to. Then you need help with your personality. You shower, clean your hair, dresses, like that. For them who is disabled, who can manage to do that, they don't get any personal helper. So there's not all of us has personal helper.
I've seen you brought yours with you from Sweden for coming to London. Does she live with you? Is it a 24-hour thing?
No. She works from. Normally she works in the evening from 5 to 9 or 10 in the evening, and I have one helper on the daytime from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, okay. And they shift. I have hired 3 helpers.
They're completely paid by all 3 of them by the Swedish government.
So that is very freedom, but sometimes it's very hard to have somebody all the time so close.
But then when you compare it with the Spanish, who have nothing, no money, no aid, no nothing, do you consider yourself lucky?
Yeah, that's why I'm a little bit half, because here in Sweden I think we have very good life, but but there's so many things here in Sweden as well. I would like to change to get better, but when you have been in Brazil and see how they have there, and see how they have here in England, that you have to pay everything for yourself. Now I heard about Spain. Then I say, okay, I've had a quite good life in Sweden, because there's lots of things we can get from the government. If you need some change in your apartment, then you can ask for money from the government. If they say yes, that's okay, and then they pay.
And is it usually difficult to get a yes? Is it?
Sometimes. Now I have changed my kitchen. Now I can't ask for more money. I have to wait 7 or 9 years. So then I can ask if it's something else in my apartment needs some changes. But I think it was quite good, because my kitchen, it cost 100,000 crowns, and they pay it. So now I have kitchens that I can work good into. So, and I live in a apartment for disabled, and I really like it. But here in England, you have to get mortgage if you want. If you like to have wheelchairs, then this wheelchair I borrowed, but you can't borrow here in England. You have to buy the wheelchair.
Is this the local health service that lends it to you?
Yeah.
And then you give it back?
Yeah, when I want to change the wheelchair, then I give it back.
So it's on loan?
Yeah. And but now in Sweden, it's going to be harder, because now they're talking about we have to pay our wheelchair as well. So I don't know how
We're going to
it
cook.
goes permanent.
Have you got a job? Do you?
No, I haven't not getting a job, but I'm start to make my own necklace. So I'm going to open my own business now. So this is what I'm going to do. And let's see what's happening if somebody want to buy my necklace. I don't know.
Well, good luck. I hope you manage. Maybe putting them on the internet or something.
I have my website.
Oh, well, you have to send it to me. I'm very sorry if I asked you very personal questions.
No.
And,
I'm used to.
I really appreciate it.